Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. International Conference on Circular Economy, Renewable Energy, and Green Hydrogen in Africa, ICERA. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the conference on this day, 21st October 2025. My name is Msonda Ngonga. I'll be the director of ceremony for this session. Before I go any further, allow me to recognize the protocol in the house. Your Excellency, Honorable Gaudensha Crony, Minister of Industry, Mines and Energy, His Excellency Kastiri Maharaji, Acting High Commissioner of the South Africa High Commission in Windhoek, Mr. Lloyd Himambo, Deputy High Commissioner of Zambia High Commission in Windhoek, Mr. Adriano Fortunato, Council and Representative, His Excellency Pedro Mutidi, Ambassador of the Angola Embassy in Windhoek, Honorable Esther Aikola Zakaria, Member of Parliament, Timotheus Mufeti, Acting Executive Director and Environmental Commissioner, Minister of Environment and Tourism, Ms. Christine Anasi, Head of Sustainable Energy Systems, PTJ, and standing in for the Federal Minister of Research, Technology and Space, Professor Habil S. Nara, University of Rostock and ICERA Conference Convener, Prof. Anisia Petias, Chief Executive Officer, Namibia Commission of Research, Science, Technology, Namibia, Dr. Buzanani Tacheba, Director, Science, Technology, Human Capacity Development, standing in for the Executive Director, Professor Nelango Indongo Sasko. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Before we go any further, allow me to do the national and the AU anthem as we stand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much once again. Now, in the spirit of smooth progressing of the program, I would like to call in front the following for the protocols. Dr. Buzanani Tacheba. We should welcome. Allow me to call to the podium, Honorable Minister. Ms. Castin Anasi. Dr. Abil S. Nara. Mr. Timotheus Mufeti. I hope I haven't butchered the name. Dr. Krankra. I hope I haven't missed anyone. Thank you very much. At this point in time, allow me to welcome Dr. Buzanani Tacheba, Director of Science, Technology, Human Capacity Development, SASCO, to provide the welcome note. Thank you very much. Dr. Tacheba, please.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Let me start by recognizing the Honorable Gaudentia Kron, Deputy Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy of the Republic of Namibia. Let me recognize Your Excellency, Mr. Lloyd Himambo, Deputy High Commissioner, Zambia High Commission. I also like to recognize Your Excellency, Kasturi Maharaj, Acting High Commissioner, Republic of South Africa. I also want to proceed in recognizing Honorable Esther Haikola Sakaria, the Member of Parliament. I recognize Ms. Kirsten Anasi from the Project Management Office at ULIC on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Research, Technology and Space. I also take recognition of Mr. Timotheus Mufeti, the Environmental Commissioner in the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, and also Acting Executive Director in the Ministry, Professor Dr. Habil Nara, University of Rostock, and the ICERA Conference Convener, Dr. Nhlanhla Lupala, the Director at the NCRST, representing Professor Anisha Peters, the Chief Executive Officer for the NCRST. Let me also recognize the representatives of various government ministries. Let me recognize key members of the academic sector, members of the media, the distinguished participants from the national, regional, and from international destinies. I also take note of those that are participating online. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you and also to appreciate you for your noble gesture of being part of this new dawn. At SASCA, we have always had the aspirations to host the ICERA series of conferences since we were first invited to its initial edition held in 2023, and further on its last edition, which was in 2024, in Lome, Togo. At the time, we had selected some key and prominent members of our staff to attend the conference physically, but due to some logistical challenges, we failed. However, that did not deter us. We made a commitment to Rostock University through Professor Nara that we shall co-host the conference here in Windhoek come 2025. Today, I stand here elated by the unique opportunity that was once only a dream, which has now become a reality. I acknowledge the funder, the Federal Ministry of Research, Technology and Space, through Ms. Kirsten Anasi. We thank you for believing and supporting this initiative. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, honored guests, on behalf of SASCAL Executive Director and the ICERA2025 Organizing Committee, it is my great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to you to this pivotal international conference. To our esteemed Deputy Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy, Honorable Gontentia Kron, the brilliant researchers, the experts, and the inspiring students, Ms. Kirsten Anasi, representing the Federal Ministry of Research and Technology, our funders, our WASCAL member countries, participants, a special welcome to the Southern Africa subcontinent, our distinguished sponsors for this conference, all those who submitted abstracts for the conference, a warm welcome to this gathering of minds and visionaries. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, we are at a unique moment in African history, blessed with the abundant sun, wind, and innovation, the key ingredients to the clean and prosperous future. I am sure we all have a shared and urgent purpose to accelerate Africa's just transition to a sustainable future. This conference is more than just a meeting. It is a collaboration across generations and disciplines. We seek to connect dots between a waste-free circular economy, the vast potential of green hydrogen, and the unstoppable rise of renewable energy, and in particular here in Namibia. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, our focus on the circular economy, renewable energy, and green hydrogen represents a powerful trifecta for unlocking sustainable development, energy security, and economic prosperity for the continent. Our agenda is both critical and ambitious, and your diverse perspectives are essential during these 2 days of deliberations for turning potential into practice. At SASCAL, co-hosting the conference here in Namibia for the first time should not be the last. We look forward to further our partnership and to take the ICERA series of conference through the region as part of our strategy to expand our footprint in the Southern African region. Our capacity development initiative centered around graduate studies programs will further leverage ICERA conferences for our master's and PhD students as they pursue their academic and early career opportunities. So, to Rostock University, I would like to say this is just the beginning. For this leg of the conference, I would like to encourage open and productive dialogue from our participants. Let us work together to build tangible roadmap for a prosperous and sustainable region and the continent at large. I'm looking forward to a rich exchange of ideas, forging of new partnerships and actionable strategies that will emerge from the collective. Thank you for your commitment in shaping a greener, more resilient African economic renaissance. Post this conference, we hope you will join the excursion, but let us, through our collective work, make sure that we leave a lasting legacy. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tacheba, for those welcoming remarks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we feel welcomed by the host, Dr. Tacheba from the Southern Africa Science Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management. Now, colleagues, I think we are so much, we are sitting at the back. Those who are sitting at the back, they could come and fill the space in front here. Since we have been welcomed now, we should feel free to meet and interact. So those who are behind, they should just push forward so that at least we can, so that we can leave some space for those people who are coming in, sorry. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tacheba, for those welcoming remarks. Please allow me to welcome Ms. Castini Anasi for the opening remarks.
Thank you. I'll wait for you to have your seats. And please, I still see some of you in the back. You know, the reason is we need better pictures. If you take pictures of empty seats, it always looks bad. Be our guess. All right, so in the tradition, Guten Morgen, good morning, more more. I still don't get, what's the answer?
Good morning.
Thank you. Anyway, all right, we all need some coffee, I guess. So, you know these two first pages of protocol are 2 pages long, and I will still need I will read them because time and respect are currencies, and that is very important. So, Director of Ceremonies, I like your tie very much. Honorable Gaudentia Gronet, the Deputy Minister of Industries, Mr. Lloyd Mambo, Deputy High Commissioner in the Zambian High Commission in Windhoek. Honorable Esther Haikola Sakaria, Member of Parliament. I apologize if I pronounce some of the names wrong. Mr. Timothy Mofetti, Acting Executive Director and Environmental Commissioner in the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. That's myself. Professor Nara of the University of Rostock. Dr. Mlantla Lupala, Director of NCRST, representing the CEO today. Dr. Tacheba, Director of Science and Technology at SASCAL, representatives of various government ministries, members of the academia, I recognize some of you here, members of the media, distinguished conference participants from national, regional, and international partners, ladies and gentlemen, present here and online, of course. And I'm very happy to see a lot of ladies in the room, which I'm always looking out for. So thank you for being here and taking part. So, now my speech. Yes, on behalf of the German Ministry of Technology, Research and Space, we have a new name, BMFTR. It's my great pleasure to be here and extend a warm welcome as well at the ICERA2025 conference on circular economy, renewable energies, and green hydrogen in Africa. This conference actually takes place at a defining moment. Across Africa and indeed the world, the urgency of climate change, energy transition, and sustainable development has become apparent. No one can close their eyes on that anymore. It is matched only, as I have seen it, by the extraordinary potential for innovation and collaboration all over the world. Africa is blessed, actually, not only with abundant natural resources, but also with, as I've seen it, motivation, resilience, and a youthful energy that is needed to drive this green transition. At BMFDR, our ministry, we believe in this future. We are committed to supporting research, building bridges between institutions, and fostering partnerships that will accelerate our collective journey towards sustainability. Our ministry is supporting projects in many countries across especially Western and Southern Africa, always together with our partners on ground, and always keeping capacity building in mind. We live this motto. Sustainable development can only happen if you also invest in local expertise. And from some of these projects you were here today, as I saw on the agenda, and I'm very proud, especially since they will be represented by some of our graduates from the scholarship programs that we supported. And I know one of them even helped a lot in organizing this conference. Where's Fatu? She's busy again. So I'm very proud of you. All of you also are represented here and also online. I know some of you are going to present. I am proud. I'm basically the mom of a lot of them, since we had a lot of growing together, actually. So a highlight of this conference will actually be our visits to the pilot projects that we funded here in Namibia. The Clean Energy Refueling Station project in Walvis Bay, that is now the Hydrogen Dune, and also the Douros Green Hydrogen Village project. These projects are not just projects. They are actually living examples of what the future can look like. They show us that Africa and the people here are not just waiting to follow any trends happening somewhere in the world. They show us that they can also shape them, right? By proving that bold ideas, when nurtured with partnerships and cooperation, can create hope and opportunities for generations to come. And I've seen that in the projects. They're already working with the youth here. So they also show that it needs courage and patience, a lot of patience, to implement great ideas, because things don't always run as planned. So let me take the moment and express my sincere appreciations to our partners and organizers, in particular the University of Rostock and the Southern African Science Service Center on Climate Change and Adapted Land Management, SASCAL. The University of Rostock, with its tradition of academic excellence and innovation, brings world-class scientific excellence to this conference. And SASCAL, as the co-organizer of this conference, but also the overall implementer of the joint communique of intent here in Namibia on green hydrogen and green energy, they deserve our deepest recognition. Missing a page. On turning research into real-world impact. This bridges the gap between vision and implementation. I also thank the Ministry of Industries for gracing our conference today. Thank you a lot. As you participate in the days ahead, I invite you to think boldly, to connect widely, and to let this gathering inspire you. Take what you learn here back home to your institutions, your communities, your countries. And together we can shape that continent and also our whole planet that is towards a way that it is resilient, inclusive, and sustainable. So once again, welcome to ICERA2025. May this conference strengthen old bonds, as I've seen already, spark new collaborations, and leave us with a more hopeful and visionary view of a more united way of working together to build a green future, not only here, but all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Castini Anasi, who is representing Federal Ministry of Research, Technology and Space. Thank you very much. Another hands of applause, please, to the... Thank you very much. Allow me now to call upon Dr. Professor Nara for the presentation, please.
So thank you very much, the moderator, and also I keep the protocol very short because I think the protocol has been repeated twice. So I say all protocols observed. But anyway, thank you for the dignitaries and also on the high table, everybody, also making this event to be a successful. Also you as an audience are very important for the conference, especially the authors and also the presenters as well as the moderators. So I also welcome everyone to the conference on this day, and good morning. So, we are trying to put on a presentation so you get some brief information how the birth of the university, or like not the university itself, but like the conference has taken into consideration. So when we started our projects within the continent Africa, we soon realized that it's one of the biggest continents with 54 countries. And then the challenge was like, how do we disseminate our results? And how do we bring these 54 countries together? And also bring the interaction between those countries. So this is how the thought came into action. So yeah, myself, Professor Na, so I work at the University of Rostock. So we are the convener, or like I act as the convener of the conference, but like I also thank the whole organizing committee of the SASCAL as well as the organizing committee of University Rostock heartfully, because there have been many sleepless nights for them. So I thank once them. Maybe we can give them a clap. Thank you very much. So I just go through or rush through because of the time limitations. I think there are too many slides. You know, always it's difficult to compress them. But like, you are welcome. So the conference is taking from 21st to 25th, even though on the sites you see it is only 21 to 22, because the excursion is also included. So when the idea came into existence, the circular economy plays also in the renewable energies, because after 20 years of solar panels, what do we do? After 20 years of wind energy plants, what do? We still need to do the recycling. That means also circular economy plays into different sectors, and all these sectors have to be taken into consideration. That's how the name, circular economy, renewable energies, and green hydrogen. So as the green hydrogen is booming now, we also need the technology to be recycled or updated in the future. That means we also need to think about the circular economy of these technologies taken into consideration. So I go through what are our aims, and then I show you some highlights and what do we expect in this conference. So when we say circular economy, we always want to have the cycles, but it's not possible 100%, but like as long as we can achieve up to 90–95%, it is statistically almost 100%. So this is what we want to achieve in almost throughout the world, because we are facing the scarcity of resources, and these resources are very valuable for us, and also for the next generation. So that's why we want to have different pathways, but like in each pathway, we want to get the materials back such that we can reuse them and reapply them into new products. So here also we tried to check what's happening in Africa, where the recycling is going on, or the circular economy principles, with different examples have been placed with different projects, and which are ongoing and also active. So you can see here there are some things. In the southern part, in South Africa, has been very active in different components of recycling. In the eastern side, we have Tanzania and Kenya being very active. In the north, in the western part, Ghana and Nigeria have been very actively participating in circular economy and also implementing a lot of new innovative ideas. But like the issue is like, how do we bring these ideas from west to east, north to south, and also vice versa, to each countries to get this demonstrated and also disseminated. So with the principles, we need to prioritize, we need to have design, we need to rethink before even application, and also incorporate and collaborate everything together. So this conference tries to bring these things all together and create a network platform which can be used and also disseminated in the future. So now we see some capacities of the renewable energies. When we say renewable energies, Africa is mainly dominated by hydropower. Well, Namibia, maybe it's a bit challenging with hydropower, but you still have some hydropower. But like there are also other kinds of energy sources. We can see there's a huge domination of throughout the continent with hydropower. As we move further with the potentiality of the renewable energies, so we try to sector them into different categories: North Africa, East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, and Southern Africa. So as we can see, there is a huge potential of renewable energy potentials in Africa. Some of them are untapped. That means there's still a huge scope to grow in this sector. Coming to the biomass and also the bioenergy, when we see we have a certain countries in the western part as well as in the Central Africa. But like if we see the whole potential of the biomass plantations for energy, then we have completely sub-Saharan Africa covering up with the biomass potentials. That means it gives a huge potentiality also for bioenergy. Most of the bioenergy is used in the form of charcoal in Africa for cooking and other purposes. But like this can be also modified and also reinvented into the new system, which can be more efficient. So ourselves, my team from the University of Rostock, so myself and then my colleagues. So two of the colleagues are here, Ms. Nara and Ms. Chobe. So one of my colleagues, Mr. Gebit, he's doing it online, so he'll be following everything all together. So coming to the aim of the conference, we want to create a platform for the continuous exchange throughout the whole continent. So when we say throughout the whole continent, Africa, with 54 countries, and the aim, as you can see with the conference name, in Africa, so it's inside Africa, with Africa, and for Africa. So that means whoever is doing projects in Africa, they can be from international side, but like we focus on the topics inside Africa. So the conference hopes, or like we had a promise to the ministry when we got the grant. So we had a promise stating that we would like to have at least 2 people representing each country, which makes it to a total number of 108. So we are almost there, so you will see it. So when we started with the first conference, so we also had some kind of souvenirs. We always think about the recycling aspect into our souvenirs or the products. So as you can see in the first conference on your right side, there was a solar power bank, because this is something which is also required in Africa, where when you are traveling, you always have the sun, but not the power socket, or maybe a power failure. So based on this is something which we try to implement. So we also thought about being more creative with the wind chargers and so on, maybe for the next ones. And then we also wanted to reduce the usage of plastic bottles. So this is also something which you see as a positive thing. We have the glass bottles for you served. So such that we try to keep it in a circular way, because managing the plastic waste is now becoming a plastic menace in many countries, and to stop this. And then we also introduced in our second conference a tumbler, which is actually the name tag. Instead of giving them a name tag, we gave them the tumbler with the name. So they can use it from the dispenser all the time. Get the water and then they can drink it, or they can even use it for coffee, whatever. But like it was their name tag, so we try to reduce many things. So we are trying something creative, something new, to invent something. So now coming to the statistics. In our first conference, when we started in 2023, so it was in Ghana. So we had approximately 105 registrations and 50 abstracts. So which was like in the end, we had 50 abstracts presenting 50 papers. So which was a successful story also in Ghana. Then moving forward, what we also are offering, I mean, you have been here, you already paid the registration fees. So if you see, we are the only international conference where we charge nominal prices, so which is 80 euros as a registration fee, whereas most of the international conferences, they start from 800 euros. This is because we also wanted to be custom fitting and bringing the dissemination more out. So for this reason, we also had a contract with the Springer book, and we will be publishing each conference proceedings into Springer. And these book papers can be used for their academic evaluations. That means they can use it for PhD or postdoc. There's also an additional clause included into the Springer books. So also industry is welcome to write this or like to give a paper. In our first conference, we also developed some kind of position papers for green hydrogen as well as circular economy, and then we have submitted it to the government. So this is also a kind of an initiative which we would like to continue. In some of the countries, they request for us to do this based on the conference because it's gathering of experts. So we have all the stakeholders here, and based on which we can even have a kind of a workshop. This is also a place for this. So which was also done in Ghana, and the position paper is still in the evaluation within the ministry. So as we move forward, so as you can see, the registrations, I mean, I'm sorry about the colors, but like you can see, the hosting countries are always dominating in the number of abstracts and also number of things. So when we moved to ICERA2024, it was held in the neighboring country, Togo, of Ghana. And here we have like 139 registrations. So, and as per the number of countries, you can see that we dominate, I mean, most of the domination is done in the western part, but we also have some from eastern and also from the southern Africa. So as we move forward, so in 2024, we received 64 abstracts, so we increased ourselves from 50 to 64 in 2024 in the second edition. As we move forward, so what we also introduced in the second year was like giving the participants a certificate, and the book of abstracts, as I can also show, this is the third edition. The book of abstracts is also citable because we have a DOI, so digital object identification. So that means you can use it scientifically, and we have an ISBN number, so it can be also cited everywhere. So this is what we started in the second conference. As you can see, the book of abstracts and the certificate of participation. So the people who submit their full papers will be published in the Springer book. As you can see, this is the Innovations in Circular Economy and Renewable Energy in Africa with the title. So and then we also introduced, to have the continuity of the conference, we also introduced a kind of an award voucher. So in the award voucher, so that means whoever wins this award voucher as the best presentation will be invited for the next conference, taking consideration that we will bear all the costs for those people who achieve this award. So I expect the best presentations coming out from you, also the competition for getting this award. So as we have 7 sessions, so we have 7 awards. That means 7 peoples. Along with this, also to make a note, so we also sponsor at least 1 person per country to attend the conference, to give this a chance. That means there's also a kind of a financial support. For this, we thank our federal ministry for this. Now we move to the ICERA2025 statistics. So you can see previously we had Western Africa, Central Africa as the main core submitting the abstracts. Now if you can see, we have covered almost all the countries inside the Africa. There are still some countries missing. I hope by next year we try to cover all of them. So with which the number goes high. So as of now, we have 225 registrations and 108 abstracts. In the book of abstracts, we have 98 abstracts because we had to scrutinize some of the abstracts from the submission. So, yeah, the total abstracts, we have 98, so which are also listed here. And as we move forward, so you can see we also have some abstracts coming from Japan, also from Asia, and also from Germany, and also from Sweden and Norway. So as we see, we are becoming more and more popular with the third edition. So this is the third edition what we have here in Namibia, and we are very happy that we could make it in Namibia, and also the presence of the SASCAL and also the Honorable Ministry giving us this chance to provide all the space and also the facilities. So here, as per the statistics, we have a high number of students, the future scientists, and then we have also private sectors, we have NGOs, and we have academics. And as you see to the back, we also have some sponsors, which is the company New Carbon. So please get also in contact with them to have an exchange. So at the end of the conference, we also have organized the site visit, which are 2 sites. So one is Clean Energy, which was also mentioned before, and then we also have the Daurus green hydrogen project. This is also one of the choice why we wanted to desperately come to Namibia, because Namibia becoming a green hydrogen hub throughout Africa, so we want to disseminate also these projects and bring into light such that these can be easily replicated. So with this, I would like to say thank you for now, and special thanks to our sponsor, New Carbon, as well as our ministry for financing the whole conference. Because as a tradition, so when we have this book of conference or book of abstracts, we generally present it to the local ministry and also to the German ministry. So I would like to present one to the local ministry. Yeah. Thank you very much.
you very much, Prof, for those awards. We are anticipating at the close of this conference, and at the same time, for all those who will be awarded next year. So another hand of applause for Prof. Nara, please. At this time, allow me to welcome to the podium two. The first one will be Mr. Timotheus Mufeti, Acting Executive Director, Environment Commissioner, Ministry of Environment and Tourism, Namibia, on the theme, Health, Culture and Environmental Aspect of Harnessing Green Energy in the African Context. The second one will be Dr. Nklankla Lupala, National Commission on Research, Science and Technology. The first one, I would like to welcome Mr. Timotheus Mufeti, please.
Thank you, Directors of Proceedings. Let me stand by the protocol as established because of time, but let me recognize our Honorable Deputy Minister of Mines, Industry and Energy, and our professors and our co-partners in this event, and all the invited guests. As it has been mentioned, my name is Timo Mufeti. I'm based in the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism. And this is also the coordinating ministry when it comes to climate change. Esteemed delegates, Your Excellencies, I'm deeply privileged to stand here and to deliver a statement at this very important international conference here in Namibia and Windhoek. We are very happy as a government to host this important conference. And today, beneath the enduring spirit of our continent, we gather not only as expertise or experts and innovators, but we are here today as a custodian of African future. So we meet at a time Africa faces realities of climate change, persistent energy poverty, and the accelerating demographic change. But also we are meeting at a time of a rare moment of possibilities for our continent and for our world. For the solutions conceived here will radiate not just across our borders, but will resonate globally. So our conference and its themes resonate with the call not only to address the past injustice, but also to correct the structure and patterns which continue to drive our problems in Africa and in the world, like ecological degradation, the vulnerability, and the poverty across Africa. Today, we are not here merely to exchange research or accelerate innovations, but we are here to set the course of transformation anchored in Africa realities, solutions, and leadership. So we believe we have got the mindset, we have got the innovators, researchers who understand our problems and our realities, and based on that we'll be able to come up with African-based solutions which will help not only Africa, but the world. So more than ever, Africa stands at a crossroads. While we are only responsible for the less than 4% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, our people continue to face the disproportionate impact of climate change, which is reflected in droughts, floods, energy insecurity, and the increasing youth unemployment. So nearly half of sub-Saharan Africa population, about 570, still lack access of electricity. Only 18% have access to modern fuels for cooking, and many of whom ensure daily hardships and healthy risks for traditional biomass use. So those are the realities for our continent. Those are the issues that we need to address as expertise or experts gathering on this table. So that's why when we talk on issues like energy transition, we need really to go deeper and reflect our situation and our realities. If we say only about 18% or very, very few portion of our population have got access to energy or to electricity. If you go down to our communities and population and villages, talk about transition, people will ask you, transition from what? Those are the realities that we have to base our strategies, innovations, and projects that should benefit our country and our Africa as a continent. But at the same time, Africa continent finds itself at the center of global energy transition. Why? We hold, for example, 35% of world's critical minerals for clean energy technologies. We boast almost about 60% of the solar resources. Yet, we host less than 2% of current global renewable energy capacity. So this is structural paradox of abundance in terms of resources, but we are in deprivation, demand really a whole system rethink and the coordinated actions. If we remain on a business as usual trajectory, Africa emissions and the resource pressure will rise rapidly as our economies and cities continue to grow. So how do we challenge this paradox, this problematic structure this Africa is facing? We have the resources, but on the other hand, we are the one who are deprived. We are the one who are suffering. Our communities, our people are down there faced with this hardship. So we need now, as expertise, as a scientist, as innovators, really change this for our future, for our children, for our continent, and for the globe. And I understand that that's why we are here and moving forward. So there are some things that we have to look at to address or to tackle some of these challenges. And I just listed a few. Number one, advancing circular economy, as we are discussing and we are well off. Africa's future must break the old extractive, linear model of take, make, and dispose. So this needs to change. Circular economy strategies rooted in our local realities offer a path to reduce vulnerability and the dependence, and also have a possibility of creating jobs to our people, expand green sector diversification, and keep the value of resources within Africa. We have got good organizations, things like African Circular Economy Alliance, now coordinate these efforts, harmonizing national and the continental strategies, and help us to share proven models and projects such as eco-industrial parks, plastic EPR schemes, inclusive waste-to-energy initiatives. These are all possibilities that are out there. Secondly, scaling renewable energy. Africa holds, as I said, immense untapped renewable resources and power through our vast sun, strong winds, perennial rivers, deep geothermal resources. All these are available for us. We are happy that there are projects at the continental level that are taking advantage and a big investment in some of these big renewable energy innovations and investments. We have got 80% of 5-year led by South Africa, where we want to produce 10.6 gigawatts capacity in Morocco, Kenya, Egypt. We are very encouraged to see really some good projects that are coming up. In Namibia, we are embarking upon green hydrogen and the projects that are coming up. I think we are going to see Daure's green hydrogen project. So there is a movement, and I think we should be proud, but there's much more that needs to be done. This conference is designed as a living platform for action and learning, connecting research, industry, government, and community voices from across Africa and globally. Allow me to say this. Let us acknowledge the honest barriers that are there or that we face as a continent. Financing of green projects is some of the problems, especially for smaller economies, remains a significant challenge. Transmission and energy access are hampered by outdated infrastructure, weak regulatory framework, and the institutional framework. They continue to slow the shift from how we used to do things. Data gaps, limited skills, and exclusion of informal sector innovators often stall large-scale progress. Above all, governance is decisive, as evidenced by the success of the Circular Economy Alliance, Africa Ministerial Conference of Environment, and collaborative institutions like SASCAL, and the effective and inclusive governance is a keystone for change. Continental platforms such as African Continental Free Trade Area and Africa Union Continental Circular Economy Action Plan are aligning policies and standards that we can piggyback on and allow investment to flow. Yet our progress always depends on credible local implementation and the inclusion of our community in totality. We have not to leave our women out, youth, and the indigenous knowledge. Those are also very important for African continent. So this conference therefore stands as a foundation for African thought leadership. So I call upon all of us, our researchers and academic partners, to continue to challenge these inherited structures and to advance transdisciplinary research to produce work that is actionable to our people in our villages. Let me also thank our youth researchers or delegates who are here. Understand that we have got our researchers or participants or Namibians who are involved in Daure's Green Hydrogen Village. Your creativity, energy, insistence, and solutions must shape every discussion. And we have to remember that we always say we are planning for future, and it's therefore important that we include the future, which is the youth. So we are happy to thank our organizers for including our youth who are involved in our green hydrogen project. Let us leave this conference, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, not only inspired, but mobilized. Each one of us as advocates, innovators, and custodians of African green renaissance. The world now watch to us, Africa, not anymore as a mere recipient, but also as a driver and architect for the global solutions. I would like to thank each of you for your leadership, for your expertise, and for your hope. And together we can ensure that when history writes the next chapter of Africa development, it will speak as a continent that not only persisted, but prevailed. In conclusion, Honorable Minister and the distinguished delegates, the green transition is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It concerns health, heritage, and habitat. Let us not wait for another crisis to take action. And with that, I would like to leave you with the word of Wangari Maathai, and I quote, "You cannot protect the environment unless you empower people, you inform them, you help them to understand that these resources are theirs and their own." So let's empower, let's act, and let us lead. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acting Executive Director, Minister of Environment and Tourism. Thank you very much for those insights. And I think it's true that we should be empowered. We should empower in order to provide meaningful, sustainable development to our country. Thank you, sir. Now, may I call upon again Dr. Anklaka Lupala for another incisive statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies, and let me also recognize the Honorable Deputy Minister of, I have to get the name right because I know the names have changed, Industries, Mines and Energy, Honorable Kronye. I'm not sure whether Maria received the 5-slide presentation that I had planned. I got the notification a bit late yesterday that I have to come and represent my CEO, and I tried to push the ball to some other colleagues, and unfortunately they were out of the office, so there was no escape from ICERA for me. If you remember the famous movie, There is No Escape from Sobiba. But I'm glad to be associated with this function, and particularly NCRST, as the main national research funder, we find ourselves with an obligation to sit in this space and explore what collaborations we can enter into in terms of advancing this noble cause of turning our biomass and waste into sustainable resources. I see that my previous speakers have really outlined the scientific benefits, and I wanted to make this disclaimer that I'm not an expert in this area. So when I sat trying to get to this assignment, I was thinking, what kind of audience am I facing? Do we have the communities also represented where this biomass is sitting for them to appreciate the resource that they are sitting with? And hence, the nature of this presentation had gone to be inclusive of those who are kind of lay or laggards into this space. So I had looked at the key definition of terms when we're talking of biomass, basically being organic materials from plants, waste being discarded material that can be recovered, our circular economy emphasizing the recycling and regeneration of this waste or biomass, and particularly reference to the green economy, where we minimize environmental degradation, obviously reducing carbon emissions as well. And when we talk of a sustainable resource, it should be a resource that also meets future needs, a resource that can be sustained for future generations, that we don't exhaust. If we use a resource, we replenish it and make sure it lives for our future needs. Now, as the National Commission on Research, Science and Technology, one of our flagship programs is adaptive social protection, where we look at climate change mitigation, social benefits in terms of resilience to shocks, etc. Consequently, I'm glad to announce that we have funded one of our researchers that I see seated here, Dr. Shafuda. Is that you? Please just stand up if you allow me to put you on the spotlight. Dr. Shafuda is working on a project that we have funded, where he is working with a community in Grootop on a biomass project. I'm informed from the M&E reports that you have about 20 beneficiaries linked to your project. One of the challenges we face is, you can take a seat, sir. Thank you very much. One of the challenges we face as a funder, a research funder in Namibia, is accounting for impact to our main stakeholder, the government. You know, we know about publications, etc., but when you reach societies, they tell you that they are not eating publications. And we find biomass and waste conversion to sustainable resources as a quick win for us to convince government to invest more funds if we can demonstrate what products can be derived out of this. Africa, according to the statistics, which are not very recent, produces over 180 million tons of agricultural waste annually. Agricultural waste is just one stream of biomass because we have agricultural biomass, forestry, and aquatic. Now, if agriculture alone produces more than 180 million tons, and this has potential to be converted into a sustainable resource, this is an opportunity for us. Urban solid waste generation is expected to triple by 2050. And biomass conversion into biofuels can create green jobs in the green economy where we are friendly to our environment. Now, I wish this slide was more clearer than I see it, because this is where I think now we can use this to sit and bring everyone on the fold and say, let's capitalize on this great resource that we have sitting with our communities. So in the circular economy, we have about 23 billion tons of biomass globally, which is mainly from the streams of agriculture, forestry, and aquatic biomass. And when we process and turn this into valuable resources, we find outputs like food and feed. And when we talk of health in the context of One Health, we also look at animal health, environmental health, and this is then justification if we can turn this biomass into visible products. And I think this is happening already. I know the UNAM it used to be called Multipurpose Resource Research Center, MRC. You have done a lot of products in the material science, construction materials from biomass. And so is the project that I spoke to, Dr. Shafuda's project. This is an area where we can all account for these quick wins and outputs to motivate for more funding in this space. And as NCRST, we pledge that we will make it our endeavor to put more resources in supporting this initiative. And yes, we appreciate the partnership with ICERA. In terms of sustainability, well, we should look at how the biomass and waste are enablers of Africa's circular and green economy in order to come up with positive enabling policies to transform our waste into valuable resources. Now, Namibia has launched in 2024 the bioeconomy strategy. And the strategy already talks to value addition and employment creation in this sphere. Research, development, and innovation, and creating awareness. However, we would like to bring to the fore that as we embark in this circular economy, let us also take cognizance of the ESG considerations. Like I indicated, that we don't exhaust our resources, we are friendly to the environment, and then I think together, through our partnerships, we can have purpose to venture and drive this economy more. A short story. At high school, I just realized when I was trying to figure out what is this whole thing I'm supposed to talk about. Back then, I think it's more than 30-something years. I hope it doesn't allow you to estimate my age. At high school, through the science clubs, etc., the first time I ever appeared on TV and newspapers next to a minister in some country in sub-Saharan Africa, yeah? I had a breakthrough where I played around with pine tree leaves. And then in the process, I realized through the combustion of pine trees and a little bit of fractional distillation, I came up with a gas that I couldn't identify at first, but it was quite flammable. Clean then, because it wasn't as harmful, but it was converting to carbon dioxide. So it gave me a product, which was carbon monoxide, of course. But my argument was that it's not dangerous. When the minister asked me, but why produce carbon dioxide? I said, no, but the combustion turns it into carbon dioxide. Another byproduct was methanoic acid, which I could then say, this is an industry that can also take us into pharmaceuticals. The carbon monoxide could be applied industrially in the reduction of copper-2 oxide to copper. The methanoic acid could be used in the textile industry for removal of stains or in the mixing of dyes, etc. Then I realized, oh, these things are great. If you are involved with these projects, even back then that I have not done chemistry and I'm asked to take this task on, it helped me come up with something. But I hope you, the experts, will take these discussions further. Come back to NCRST with proposals that are worth funding. We will take it and convince our government to put more resources because there are immediate benefits for our communities. And I thank you.
Thank you very much for those good insights. And now we know that all of us here are deep-rooted scientists. With those comments, I think we attest to that. So at this time, it's like we are too quiet and we have heard a lot of science, and now we are afraid that maybe we will start thinking that we are brought to this place just to talk about science. So we would like to transition into something where we can combine science and art, where we can try to see how best science can be demonstrated through art. At this time, allow me to welcome a cultural performance from our colleagues who have prepared to entertain us, but of course with the concept of the conference. Thank you very much. Another hand of applause to our cultural team, please. Thank you very much. Now, at this point, even though I'm the director of ceremony in this session, I might not have absolute power to do some things. So, at this time, I would like to call upon Dr. Tacheba to come and introduce the honorable, please.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. I think I'm still reeling in the last performance. You know, they say that culture is the real, true, aspect of society. And I think as we were appreciating the brilliant performance here, I think it brings that aspect of the integration of culture into circular economies, into renewable energy. Because in essence, you know, even the songs themselves, they speak. And I just happened to pick up from the last song that was being done when they walked out of the stage, which was actually speaking to us. And I just happened to be so lucky that the language that was being used is something that I'm familiar with. So in actual fact, what they were saying is that they did not sleep last night waiting for visitors who are coming from far and wide. So you are very much well appreciated. Let's give them another round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the rare opportunity of introducing the distinguished Honorable Minister. But before I do that, let me just also say that there is participation on this conference, both physically as well as online. There is a number of social media platforms where we are broadcasting from, where similar discussions as the ones that are currently ongoing here can also take course. So I'd like to encourage those online as well as those that are here physical to also take the opportunity of jumping online for also being able to run our hashtag ICERA2025 and make your submissions or make your contributions. And I think that is essentially what makes the discussions even far and wide and even collective beyond this particular four walls here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this time now to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker for all of us to appreciate. I'll be very brief and say that Honorable Gaudentia Kroon has been, from a very young age, passionate about political activism and service to her people. Endowed with a spirit of volunteerism, she started civic engagements at a very early stage. Honorable Kroon is a member of SWAPO Party and has served in its ranks and file. She has served in several leadership portfolios before becoming the mayor of Kitmanshoop from 2015 to 2020, and then proceeded to being the ordinary councillor. With over 25 years of experience in public service, Honorable Kroon's interests are deeply rooted in the development aspirations of Namibia. She's a trade unionist, a SWAPO Party Central Committee member, as well as Deputy Secretary of Labor in the Secretariat of SWAPO Party. On 22nd March 2025, Honorable Kroon was appointed Deputy Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy. As the Deputy Minister, Honorable Kroon is committed under her portfolio to advancing sustainable and inclusive access to energy, promoting local beneficiation in mining sector, and aligning our policies with both Namibia's national development goals and global environmental commitments. Ladies and gentlemen, join me put our hands together in appreciating and welcoming the Honorable Minister.
Director of Ceremonies, the High Table, please allow me to stand by the protocol already established. I recognize Honorable ICERA. Welcome, Honorable. A very warm good morning to you all. Good morning.
Good morning.
It seems the hall is very cold, so no one is concentrating because I'm getting cold. It gives me a great honor to extend my greetings to you in our capital city, Windhoek, the beating heart of the land of the brave, as we gather for the International Conference on Circular Economy, Renewable Energy and Green Hydrogen in Africa, now proudly in its 3rd edition. This remarkable platform is being hosted by the Southern Africa Science Service Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management and Universitat. I hope I pronounce it correctly because it sounds like a German name. Rostock, with funding from the Federal Ministry of Research, Technology and Space, for which I extend our sincere gratitude and appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. We are gathered here with a shared purpose to build the capacity of participants by fostering the exchange of knowledge, expertise and best practices on the development of sustainable energy infrastructure, the production and commercialization of renewable energy, and the financing of green energy and circular economic initiatives. These initiatives are key enablers towards Africa's green energy transition and green industrialization and are essential towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. However, for effective implementation of these green transition and green industrialization initiatives requires robust regulatory frameworks that would serve as catalysts of ensuring investor confidence and the emerge of innovative technological projects development, as well as unlocking green finance opportunities. In Namibia, we have taken deliberate steps to strengthen this foundation. Among other instruments, the country has developed a national renewable energy policy and a national integrated resource plan. This is to ensure a coordinated determination towards green energy transition initiatives. Having developed and now implementing these regulatory frameworks has advanced Namibia's climate commitments and enhanced contributions impacting nationally determined contributions, driving progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals. Directors of Ceremonies, Namibia has emerged as pioneer in green hydrogen developments. This was achieved having at the very beginning developed a Namibia green hydrogen and derivative strategy and a Namibia green industrialization blueprint and the setup of implementation structures. These strategic frameworks have yielded remarkable outcomes, attracting multi-million-dollar investment and forging strategic partnerships that have led to the setting up of various hydrogen and derivatives production plants in the country, as well as skills enhancements and capacity development relative to green hydrogen in the country. In addition, these efforts have catalyzed the rise of Namibia's green industry, notably through transformative ventures such as green iron production investments, which are contributing to the country's growing reputation as a regional leader in sustainable industrial developments. distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my earnest hope that the knowledge, insights, and expertise shared and from this conference will inspire accelerated ideas into tangible actions of bankable projects towards circular economy, green energy transition, and green industrialization across the African continent. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I'm informed that you will have the opportunity to embark on technical field excursion of some of Namibia's flagships green projects, including the Cleanergy green hydrogen plant and the refueling station, as well as the Daures green hydrogen village. I strongly encourage all visiting participants to take part in the planned technical field excursion, as this would also allow you to further explore the spectacular contrasting Namibian landscapes and green resources potential. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore my singular honor and privilege to declare the 3rd edition of the International Conference on Circular Economy, Renewable Energy, and Green Hydrogen in Africa officially open. I wish you fruitful deliberations, productive engagements, and lasting collaborations throughout the conference, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Deputy Minister, for those encouraging words. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I resume my power as the Director of Ceremonies. So, with that, meaning that now I'll ask Dr. Acheba to guide us on how best we should stand so that we can have the photo on the high table. Then thereafter, we'll go outside to have the group photo. We call it a family photo.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, as already announced as per our program, we have the opportunity of taking a group photo. But first of all, let me also take this opportunity to thank the high table and allow that we appreciate them with a big round of applause.